as Ravenloft Hunters.
Yeah, so for some reason we're doing this in a two-parter, I guess.
We know the reason. We had no room left in the other video.
It was only an hour and 30 minutes, I think.
Only an hour and 30 minutes, basically the full-length video.
Yeah.
Yes, a murder is a foul, gentlemen.
Shut up! Shut up!
We're done with the puns for now.
We're done with
Unless they come up again from a related topic.
We'll be crowing them at the top of our
Shut
lungs
up.
very soon.
Shut up. Shut up. Anyway, this is the Ravenloft
You
segment.
sound like a mockingbird repeating itself.
Anyway, we didn't have room in the previous video. We're going to jump into Ravenloft here. So, where did we begin the last session?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So what happened is that because there were various cutscenes, why don't we start off with the side plot first, and then we can get to the main plot.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So what's happening with Alistair, Abu, and the Baroness? Pretty much nothing aside from the fact that we know that there seems to be a split between the Nazis.
Huh. That, and I also noticed a lot of witty repartee between you two.
Well, generally speaking, that's because the romantic side plot is starting to interest the GM more than the main story. The side plot is that Alistair's adopted daughter and the Baroness's younger sister have both been smitten by the Arabic thief known as Abu.
God damn it, Abu.
And which has caused a Twilight-style rift upon which both families are gearing up for a family feud to see which one of them is going to earn Abu's hand, which one is going to secure the booze for their daughter, or daughter/sister respectively.
Can I kill the GM? Because this is not permissible.
To be fair, it's NPCs with NPCs. The fact that other player characters have a personal stake, which is not related to the plot at all, is fine.
It's Twilight Ravenloft edition, although
to be fair, though,
it's written a lot better.
To be fair, though, the genders are flipped. The characters are more likable, and there's actually and it's kind of funny because he has not just those two, but a list of various other girls.
And the vampires and werewolves are the things.
And the vampires and werewolves don't exist.
Well, they do exist.
Well, they do exist, but they're not put into that side plot.
And they don't sparkle.
Yes. But that's for much later in the podcast.
I would argue one actually does, but yeah. Anyway.
The current party that's in Damon Lou, which is the Baroness and Alistair, are asked by the Elven Sherlock Holmes Alanic Ray to go ahead and set aside matters in a system with this splinter cell.
Isn't that Elven Sherlock Holmes your character, Leo?
No, it is an actual character within the game itself.
Oh, okay. Because I remember
Elven Sherlock Holmes. What are you talking about?
I remember
that was a concept character, but he was supposed to be more. What is the one who gets drunk and goes and says something about his wife? Columbo. He was supposed to be more Columbo than Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, okay.
He was supposed to be more Columbo, more of a gumshoe in a 40s in a fantasy. In a film noir in a fantasy era then.
And now I'm thinking about our concept of a mafia boss that's summoned.
That's a tale for another time.
So that's that side plot which was almost to nothing. Why don't we talk about where the three mercenaries are?
Terrell,
Mikhail, and Hisashi. Boy, that was a fun one.
Let's get on a boat.
Well, first off, let's get on a boat. Bribe the captain with beer.
Yeah.
And wine.
And wine. Beer and
so
wine.
We try to get a boat, and then my miserliness kicks in.
No. Okay, so first off, we're heading south from Nazi Germany through. I would say that we're in a mixture of Austria with some Czech in it. I don't really know. It's another. It's a fantasy European country. Now Transylvania is elsewhere. That's where I'm at, but that's something else.
Anyway,
we're passing through a advanced civilization, and the sister of the ruler suddenly has a hankering for some taro loaf,
and the taro loaf bites.
Fucking hell! I forgot about that. What?
Yeah. So apparently,
because my character did it, and now Legend's character did it with the same character.
Yeah.
Or NPC, rather, because this is not, we're not doing character shipping.
And just like your character, I survived.
Unlike my character, she had my character, the woman had a lousy night.
Well, she said, from what the GM said, I wasn't her best, but at the same time, she kind of came off proud because it happened. Like
probably because she survived it.
Also, that she had a funny taste in her mouth, like she just sucked on a bear or something along those lines.
Well, which is funny because she's a were-rat.
Yeah. The other weird thing was, remember the fact that my demon sword requires blood in order to be satiated?
Yeah, apparently it was very satisfied after that.
Yeah, I had a great time. So did the sword. I didn't have to kill anyone in order to get away with this.
I'm pretty sure that it was sated with your blood or Shark Week.
No. My blood doesn't cause the same reaction.
Yeah, but so then Shark Week is the other option.
So stumbling back with a huge, stupid, shit-eating grin on my face.
We get on the boat.
And we set off.
And
well, before that, I was being a stubborn ass.
Oh yeah, you were being a stubborn ass, and we had to negotiate for you to get on the bridge because you didn't want to pay.
And then after looking all around for another boat, I decided to say, fuck.
You come back because you don't find another boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we sail down and we enter werewolf country.
Well, we don't sail into werewolf country. We stop by werewolf country. And I remember, oh right, this is a trip. Boat trips suck for Terrell because Terrell has to kill something every 3 days or the sorceress cannibalizing me.
However, lucky for us, after Nasashi goes to the nearby bar and pounds several drinks, my character is officially drunk and is suffering penalties. I'm barely able to walk somehow. And
here,
the three of us run into a pack of werewolves.
Yeah, no. We didn't run into a pack of werewolves. What happened was, my character went out and started yelling into the middle of a dark, werewolf-infested forest, "Here, Wolfie, Wolfie, Wolfie!"
Calling them out.
Yes!
To which they respond happily.
What are you, a freaking wrestler?
Bear wrestler!
He actually does no wrestling.
And considering you're a bear, that's not surprising.
Yeah. So we have a little scuffle with the wolves. Whereupon you try.
So what? So let's go over this epically how it starts. You go ahead and attempt to massacre one. You're pretty much successful for all accounts as far as killing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I try hitting one. It doesn't actually do any damage. However, on the turns in which two werewolves attack my character, drunk out of his mind, one misses, and I'm able to successfully parry the other. Upon which my response is, "Holy shit, I'm a drunken sword master." Thankfully, the GM decided to spend my points elsewhere and not on the perk, which gives me a bonus to dexterity instead of a penalty while pissed drunk out of my mind. Because that is a thing, albeit very cinematic. And what happened with Mikhail?
Well, I would like to say you tried to Leroy the shit out of this one.
Leroy!
Yeah, I did.
Jenkins.
I aimed for the head wolf, the big, giant, bigger than the size of small pony wolf.
Surrounded by all the about the size of small pony wolves.
And,
oh yeah, that was a term.
And here's the thing: my scythe, Schwarzwald, actually manages to almost completely cut off the head wolf's leg, to which he was not expecting that.
And because the GM forgot that the Mikhail's weapon is silver
tit, which means
it's definitely effective on werewolves.
Oh yeah, which is super effective on werewolves.
It completely cuts through their DR, which is immensely high.
And you actually cut straight into the bone on that one.
It was basically hanging on by a little tendon.
Yeah, but you didn't get off scot-free from that one.
No, I ended up getting bit in the foot by a freaking werewolf.
Which crippled your foot.
Yes.
Which thankfully happened because you failed your bloodlust roll and attempted to run after the head wolf.
As it ran away.
Unknowingly putting yourself with two other smaller werewolves behind you.
Which thankfully the GM managed to backtrack so I didn't have to go and run after it.
Because you couldn't because you were crippled.
Yes.
So while they're doing that...
So the werewolves retreat after realizing that they're clearly outmatched by the by the drunk as fuck swordsman, the giant sword-swinging swordsman,
who actually does manage to kill one of them,
and the scythe swinger who actually has a silver weapon, which is holy shit.
Yes.
So,
so I get to satisfy the sword.
So
Yeah,
you satisfy the sword. I do something heroic while being pissed drunk, and you're injured.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the captain is up a tree somewhere.
I finally decide to involuntarily pass out. Or involuntarily pass out is what happened.
Yeah, and I had to carry your scrawny ass back to camp.
Hey, I'm light.
Yeah.
You were light, but I couldn't carry both the wolf and you at the same time, which meant that I couldn't keep the trophy.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
not like-
when you went back to go grab it, it was gone.
However, you also noticed some documents in the captain's quarters, which you went to explore while he was out.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like he was dropping us off just so we could get eaten by werewolves. He wasn't expecting us to come back.
Yeah.
And he did have some funny words, actually. This captain was kind of a funny character. When he heard me and my character yelling out in the woods, what was it that he said?
Go nuts to the relative extent.
Go nuts, have fun. He's out there, and I'm in the boat, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but then he went and said, "Oh shit, the wolves are gonna get me. Go up a tree."
He went up a tree, and he stayed there. So he says.
And I was thinking that he was the head wolf for some reason, or maybe one of the werewolves for some reason.
Well, keep in mind he didn't have a wound on him.
True, so he could have been one of the two wolves that were there. He's not completely innocent.
He is not completely innocent. We have yet to see what's going to happen, and we're still currently on our journey back. Journey
to NVIDIA. So, why don't we go back and join the main plot?
Well, what else happened? There was one other...
Yeah, that goes into the prefix to the main plot, which is Zero's character getting laid.
Yeah!
Yes.
So this was a very sexy episode of Ravenloft.
Thankfully there was no orgy. But, yeah, Chester got laid.
And I stole a girl's panties.
Which means I owe you steak.
Yes, you do.
Fuck!
All courtesy of Leo Force.
Yep.
Leo buys the girl, Zero steals the panties, and Legend buys a steak.
Legend buys the bullet.
Yeah. You're lucky I didn't decide to steal Alba's panties.
I'm pretty sure if we did that, we would have
panties.
She goes in the buff?
No.
Oh my.
She wears men's underwear.
So she wears a codpiece?
Well, that was part of the GM actually trying to pull a red herring on you, both of you.
Yeah. So, but it chafes, I would imagine.
Eh.
But anyway, so we go through the mysterious mouth of Zakata, and there's nothing.
Well, there's nothing but the mists feel weird for some reason.
And we find out later why that is, but for the most part, we're just walking through the mists.
And we're walking...
And walking, GM builds suspense by saying that it's quiet, it's silent as a mouse. You can't see anything in front of you. You can barely hear anything in front of you.
It's basically, and we're all just kind of marching single file. If the guy up front stopped, we all crash into him.
Yeah.
It is really, really stupid thick mist.
Yeah.
Which is convenient for the mist horrors. The mist horrors that appear and start draining everyone's strength.
Yeah,
they don't actually do HP damage. They're just draining our
strength, and because we're all encumbered with food and our equipment, it means that we're all walking slower than normal.
And slower. And slower.
Yeah.
And then they finally decide to attack us.
Yeah, which was actually a pretty funny thing. And I'm glad they were draining my ST as opposed to my IQ, because this would have been a hell of a time if I hadn't.
Yeah. Because you and our NPC healer,
Tara,
decided to magically enchant our weapons so we could actually cut the damn things.
Yeah, I didn't actually participate in any combat this time around, I remember it.
Because someone was trying to do insubstantial spells, which, if I recall, didn't come through.
Well, the truth was that Tara's spells were coming through. She was actually casting spells, but they were No, I only cast one spell. The reason why I wasn't doing much was because I passed on my turn because I was thinking what to do.
No, now I remember. You spent, because this happened so weirdly that, because it was weird because we ended combat after the actual first or second actual damage on the foe, but it took so long to get there. It felt like forever.
Yes.
You immediately start. I think it was like your first or second turn. You cast Great Haste,
which basically gives increased time rate and double attacks per turn.
It gives you two actions effectively.
Which means that it takes half the time to cast a spell.
But it takes 3 turns to cast first.
Yes, 3 turns to cast Great Haste. So I spend my 3 turns basically sitting out the fight.
Well, and the other problem was that because I was at the front of the party and Tara was in the back, it took me a while to actually get over to get my weapon enchanted, which would have ended the fight quicker.
So instead, my weapon got enchanted first.
And you kept doing crappy amounts of damage.
Crappy amounts of damage, but I was doing damage.
Right, but it
wasn't even expecting it, so it decided to do an ear-piercing shriek that caused damage.
No, but that was more just a reflex than anything else. Anytime you hit it, it did the shriek.
Yeah.
But it was my hit that eventually convinced them to flee, which, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, though I should say that the battle would have gone our way either way. At that point, your weapon was enchanted, Zero's weapon was enchanted, and, well, anyone who had a bladed weapon had an enchantment.
Yeah, but the deal was that it just took forever.
Yes. Though, to be fair, after I got Tara to start going into double time, that meant she would also be doing things at double time. Casting spells instantly that would really damage the miss rates.
Right, but once you have the competent warrior doing competent damage, then that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I've consistently, not just with that character, but with most of my characters, 1 or 2 shot at all my foes.
Yeah.
True. I prefer more tactical stuff.
But anyway, so after this, we continue progressing through, when all of a sudden we hear the sounds of bells.
Well, you hear the sounds of bells, and I think a couple of us do sort of
eventually, after the fact, and I chase after the bells because they have my horse!
And leave us behind.
Well, it's not my fault. I go after my horse.
It was also my horse, too, but I couldn't keep up with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God for haste boots.
Haste boots, and the fact that you still have most of your ST.
Well,
yeah.
Not that I have most of my ST. I'm also the strongest. I am also the literal pack mule of the party. I have lifting strength 16.
Damn.
Well, I have lifting strength 15, so I'm not far behind. But yeah, I wasn't going anywhere at any good speed.
Yeah, but strength. But either way, I trail off in front of you guys. Eventually, the missed parts for all of us. But here's the catch. Go ahead and say about how you get out of the mist first.
Well, we run straight into a brick wall, and with Chester leading the way into a brick wall.
Ow!
That was fun. I believe you broke your nose.
No, I didn't.
You bloodied your nose.
Yeah, I got a very bloody nose.
And I crashed straight into you.
Ow!
And then Tara and Abby did the same.
Yes. Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, I forgot. Abby also got enchanted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did we mention the bullshit that Abby got?
What bullshit did... Oh!
So we mentioned earlier that we were all working on our individual awards and that Zero got a magic...
Cloak of
invisibility.
I got a magic sword.
Potter.
I have a magical sword that I realized I could have sent after the mist horror.
You buffed your magic sword.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, did we mention the thing about your sword getting bent?
It wasn't bent, it was chipped a little bit.
No, it was bent. I'm pretty sure it was bent.
He said bent.
Yeah, it was bent. But
no, it was...
it was bent.
But anyway, what happened was, while we were journeying out, one of the earlier things that happened, when we left the city to go out to the door of Zakata, this guy crit failed on his survival roll, and started beating on a rock with his sword that caused his sword to get bent, which meant it did it did 1 less damage point than normal.
Which is kind of bullshit.
No, it's a crit fail. I mean, would you prefer serious injury?
No.
I mean, that's what I would think.
So anyway, we get out of the mist, we land into a brick wall, and it turns out we're inside some kind of castle.
Yeah.
With the Lord still strumming about.
Yep.
What did you do?
Me? I decided I'm going to go try looking for my buddy Lou. Because, you know what?
Oh yeah, because you failed your curiosity and impulsiveness.
Let's see.
The Lord, because you left the room while everyone else was trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
I was using my cloak of
The
invisibility.
Lord of the castle came into the room You became invisible, right?
Right.
And Abby and Tara play the new maids card.
Yep. Which sucks.
Which sucks seeds to the point of that now the Lord of the Manor is lusting after Tara.
Oh,
much
boy.
to my and Tails' chagrin.
Though this does have a funny after effect later on.
Oh boy, does it. At this point, let's switch to my story because my story is actually kind of short and it doesn't actually... It breaks off from you guys'.
Okay, so what happens to Lou, who is now in cutscene mode?
So it's not true cutscene mode because I'm actually still doing plot stuff.
Well,
But it just so happens that I'm separated from the rest of the party.
yeah, so you can't do much.
Well, I can't. Well, I do.
You can't do anything according to what's happening over here.
Well, I'm doing what I needed to do anyway, which was get my horse. So, and this is the most important part because this sets up what's going to happen in the next session, which is the last session. We get out of the mist, and it's the Vistani leader, Madame Eva, who has your horse and my horse attached to her Vargo, her wagon, and she immediately crones at me. You're late. Of course I am, and so she fills me in that it's 7 months into the future. It felt like to us 2 weeks in the mists, but we traveled 7 months into the future.
So the day of reckoning when Cthulhu will rain down upon us is near.
The temporal stars of alignment that goes ahead and creates a temporal distortion is closing. Yes.
Yada yada yada. The whole stars align. The whole.
But more importantly, I apparently have to get to Crest, which is part of Lou's personal side story about getting redeemed. So, head to Crest, she tells me, which I do, taking my horses and Alva's horse.
Yeah, Alba not being there to claim the horse.
He'll hold on to it until he finds you. He promises.
So to Crest. We get to Crest and we talk with the head priestess of the cult of the Morning Lord, who goes ahead and explains that she has been expecting me. What the fuck is with everyone expecting me?
You're the chosen one.
Which... yes, turns out to be somewhat the case, considering I'm dressed in gold armor.
Bronze armor, but...
well, bronze armor, but it's good enough.
yeah.
Actually, it's probably better because gold armor is not very practical.
No, it is not.
No, it is not. It's heavy, it is stupid.
It is malleable.
Malleable, it is dentable, it'll rip like paper.
You could bite through it.
Yeah, you can.
But, nevertheless, I go ahead and learn a little bit more about the culture and get a good night's sleep. Until someone else comes expecting me. God damn it. I feel like this is, instead of this being Weekend at Alistair's, this is like some sort of convoluted, this is like, I would say, the Born Destiny, or like the Morning Lord Destiny. The Born Conspiracy.
The Morning Lord Supremacy.
The Morning Lord Supremacy, there you go.
Should we just call that the title of this episode?
Nah.
But anyway.
No, I'm just going to call
Who comes knocking to the door but the Lord of the Land, Count Strahd von Zarevich. And cue the trip of getting the lawful man to do whatever the fuck you want.
You managed to get an army.
Well, to be fair, I didn't get the army, he's loaning me his army.
Yes, but what prompted him to do so?
To do so, the fact that I knew where Terror was.
No,
yeah,
but
there was
because
something else.
Abby had a talk with Strahd telepathically.
Yeah, but that was not to my knowledge.
Yes.
But again,
oh god, the conversation she had.
That's in your thing, not in mine. Let me finish my spiel.
Well, this is important because it is part of your spiel.
Well, then why don't you go ahead and tell that story then?
Okay.
You motherfuckers.
So Abby
decides to have a little talk with...
No, Abby gets contacted by Zarevich because, again, because you guys have been gone for pretty much a year since we started the time travel shenanigans back in Cardiff.
So Strahd is basically like, where the fuck have you been, Abby?
And she explains hurriedly in the only way that Abby and Tails know how to do, which is connivingly going ahead and letting being cheerful and at the same time blackmailing.
I have never seen a vampire go, "What?" so many times in my life.
So
seriously.
So the point is that Tara has something to do with Strahd, which, let's go ahead and get the bullshit out of the way. Terra is the current reincarnation of his perpetual reincarnating lover, which he has sworn is destined to be torn apart from every time because dark powers like to torment him.
Yep.
And so she is, in order to attempt, hopefully break the cycle, they need to bring Terra to Zarevich. So that's what her mission was supposed to be.
And Strahd was like going, what? What?
And so, well, the reason he was going what in the butt is because Terra was about to take it in the butt from the Lord of the Castle.
We'll get back to that, but...
Cue the cavalry.
Yeah.
So he goes ahead and, because he is telepathic in all things to his land, he goes ahead and finds the Knights, which he says with the same intonation as he says Paladin,
or pain in my ass.
Well, no, it's not more pain in the ass.
No, it's how he says Abby.
No, well, it has to do with his own story, but anyway. the whole point is that he holds me into going ahead and because I have to, because all the jada, yeah. So basically, I'm marching over into Nvidia with an army to go ahead and raise hell.
Yeah, which is going to be glorious.
Back to you guys!
Back to Nvidia.
What the hell is Alma doing? Oh, right! Lying her frickin' ass off.
She's lying, saying that she's a new guard.
No,
new mercenary, actually.
Actually, to be fair, I didn't lie. I never once lied. That was the amazing part.
Yeah, because technically you are a mercenary.
You were just fast talking your way out of the castle, which after some sweet talking, they let you do.
Yeah, you're saying I'm a new mercenary.
I didn't actually say that. What I said was
I got lost.
I got lost and I have no idea where I am.
Yeah.
Which were vague but true.
Mm-hmm. So they just assumed that you were a mercenary, and they asked what's your squad, and you were like, I don't know who that is. I don't know where they are. I'm new.
Eventually, they just got bored of interrogating you, and they just kicked you out.
Yeah. Though not before I got to be first-hand witness to a castle-wide search for a certain assassin.
Well, that's the story now, but Chester was getting his ass kicked all over the castle.
Yeah,
which involved several platforming and climbing checks.
So what happened was I got spotted because I had to take off the cloak because
it drains FP.
It drains FP like a motherfucker.
And speaking of motherfucker, you are a scary-ass looking motherfucker. The moment they saw you, they thought, he's here to kill the Lord.
Yeah. So I hightail it out of there. I run up, down, left, right, A, B, left, right, select start.
And you end up meeting one of his
concubines, maybe.
Concubines, I would guess.
But she's blind, and she said, and I quickly say, "I'm lost. Could you tell me the way to the front gate?"
And she helps you do that somewhat.
Yeah. So I managed to get to the front gate, but it's closed, and there's a bunch of guard dogs out there. And so I managed to crit my climbing roll and climb up the stone wall onto a balcony.
Where you kind of just hang out for a little while. They don't actually find you.
They don't find me because the guard dogs spotted me. The guards didn't.
Well, the guard dogs smelled you.
Oh yeah, I had jumped into my cloak again when I got to the front gate.
But you still went ahead and managed to make your way out successfully. Shenanigans be damned.
Shenanigans be damned. Well, I didn't get out eventually. I was still stuck in the castle. And then I was looking around for Alba, looking for a way out. And then I eventually run into her and Abby.
Terra
and Abby. And, well, let's talk about what Terra and Abby were doing during all this.
The whole maid shenanigans thing they have to actually fulfill because he's the Lord of the Manor is apparently into being entertained while the maids clean.
Which is creepy.
And he's known to abuse them.
Yeah, he actually slaps Terra and Abby.
I think Abby more than Terra, but still, both. But anyway, in order to go ahead and get out of that situation, Abby uses her possession power to possess Terra, and then fake fainting, to which she goes ahead and escorts her to the medical bay.
Which was absolutely brilliant. It was just freaking brilliant.
They quickly go ahead and possession gets reversed. They make a plan to go ahead and disguise Terra as a man using a potion of changing. A potion of disguise or a potion of illusion? What was
potion of disguise.
A potion of disguise.
Because when I finally ran into them, Abby gave me a potion of disguise as well to make myself look like a mercenary. mercenary instead of my usual smiling face. My smiling, sunny face.
The disguise
Your
backfires.
smiling, sunny face
Did it-
would frighten small children.
It's at this point that the Abby Strahd conversation occurs because one of the explanations was Abby temporarily changed Terra into a man, which freaked out Strahd for a second or two.
Yeah.
And eventually they have to go ahead and escape the tower, which unfortunately backfires again because the guard lets Abby through, but not Terra.
Only Abby could make a Dark Lord facepalm.
You guys eventually make it out of the castle and reunite
At an inn.
at the night before a battle is supposed to break out between the Invidians and the invading Barovians.
Ah, yes. What the hell happened to Alba again during all this?
What did you do?
Well, while these knuckleheads... Chester was running around and playing chicken.
And Benny Hill was playing throughout the castle corridors.
Yes. I swear Benny Hill would have been perfect for this. And while Chester's doing that, and while Terra and Abby are trying to avoid the Dark Lord's advances, Alba is chilling with the mercs and is actually beginning to develop a bit of a rapport with them. Because after all is said and done, and after a few beers all passed around, these chuckleheads run into me, basically telling true tall tales of our previous adventures, including one where I am riding on a horse and I slash a Cthulhu.
Freezing it.
Freezing it.
I don't mention the freezing. But I'm telling all these tales, and the mercs have already accepted me as one of their own, and they're actually inviting me to join particular squads.
To raid a castle next time.
To raid for the impending battle.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't say yes to either side. I'm basically just mulling over my options. But I've basically passed myself off as one of them, and accepted. I got out of the castle because I was let out of the castle, not because I sneaked out.
I still can't believe that happened.
I didn't have to lift a finger in this episode. I only had to cast one
The
spell.
only reason I had to was because I got fucking spotted and people thought I was an assassin. Who could think this face would be in the face of an assassin?
I would think that a face that looks like it got mauled by a drunk tiger would not come across as friendly looking. Not to mention that your creepy, unsettling smile, the fact that you're dressed in dark colors, the fact that you have 2 swords on you, which means you're pretty much always armed, I would say that you are probably the most suspicious looking person in the world.
The fact that I look like a patchwork cat probably didn't help either.
Ah, yes, and goddammit if
A
you say another
scarred,
riddle.
scarred-looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Meow.
Osborne-looking motherfucker.
I don't have that well, technically I do have long purple and white hair.
How the flying did they not spot you before?
That's a very good question.
I blend well in the darkness.
It was day! It was fucking day and you were outside!
Yeah.
Well, so much for this being over an hour.
Well, it wasn't going to be over an hour, but there are little things that happened after all this was said and done. We did our own little shopping routines, whatnot. We
Got 10 more character points to build up.
between all of us,
And now we get to go ready into the final session.
just about. Though there is one more cutscene that happened. And that was between Abby, the GM, and a brand new character. The last one of the
Oh
session.
yeah, that wasn't between Abby. That was with Xochitl.
Pardon, Xochitl. I was thinking of Tails.
Derp.
Oh yeah, you have to go over that session because that's more you.
Well, so Xochitl and Tocino,
Along with some of the druids.
along with some of the druids,
From the very first fucking episode.
The very
Yes.
first campaign where we...
A session.
Yeah.
Session, not campaign. Session. This
are
whole thing is a fucking campaign.
I know.
oh yes. So they're basically getting ready to do what was it? They were going to stage.
They were exploring getting into town, and they happened to come across I think his name is like Xenon, which is one of the associates of R.
And given that R is basically stalking Xochitl, any information would be good. So Xochitl and Tocino decide to try and finagle their way into getting information out of this guy.
Meanwhile, they were being identified and spotted by...
Garm, my legendary archer.
And,
This guy is awesome.
and kind of scary.
So here I am just quietly sipping my beer, and I roll 100% on any kind of perception roll. It's pretty much a guarantee. If it involves perception, I am going to pass it.
It just depends on how well you pass it.
I've yet to fail. I can spot a liar at 10 paces. I'm basically a hawk.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm just here, and I'm just watching, rolling all of my skills, and I'm just watching the shenanigans ensue. Because Tocino is trying to pick up on whatever Xochitl's plans are, because she's trying to get this across non-verbally, and he's failing spectacularly. Meanwhile, I'm reading this, and I'm going, and I make a roll, and I make a decision.
To go after it or to ignore it.
I go around and circle behind the inn, whereupon I get to see something rather interesting.
Oh joy.
Xochitl and Tocino what was it?
They were just going to knock him out.
Well, they were just going to knock him out, but Xochitl seduces the guy, and I'm watching this, and I'm thinking, they're going to rob him.
Yeah.
So I sneak up, and I'm getting ready. I've already got my bow drawn, and I'm getting ready to fire. And I should mention by this point, I've actually taken into account what I want my character to kind of do, and what I would do to roleplay well. Which meant that when I actually pulled the bow on Tails' character, I actually stood up in the play session and held my arms out and just started growling in a Batman/Clint Eastwood voice. What the hell are you doing?
I think this is past the point where Tocino has already conked him once on the head, and he is half in the realm of between not passing out unconscious and passing out dead because he actually rolled max damage on his butt hit.
Fucking Tocino. Guess we can't call him a wimp anymore.
No, but he's still a wimp because he was supposed to subdue him and he did not.
Wimp.
Nevertheless,
it comes down to a sort of Mexican standoff where Tocino is desperately. Tocino wants to whack the guy.
Well, Xochitl is Mayan.
That's true.
And Tocino is Spanish. Ergo, yes, it is a true Mexican standoff.
A literal Mexican standoff. Fuck! Okay, so I've got my bow drawn, and I'm ready to quick loose it on whoever makes a false move. And Xochitl now has to talk me down.
And the problem is, you're stubborn, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Thank God.
The way you're playing the character is that you are somewhat grouchy.
I'm not just somewhat grouchy. I am basically completely and utterly jaded.
Jaded.
I'm like Zero, but 50 years older.
You're Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
The Archer.
The Archer. And what ends up happening is I roll detect lies on Tails' character. And realize, yeah, she's telling the truth.
And so you proceed to help her in interrogating information from the poor schlop.
But not helping them get the guy out. I remember that I was actually like, no. But when it came down to the interrogation, I actually had a lot of fun with that.
Because you don't actually have interrogation.
I didn't need it. What ended up happening was, the guy said something, and when I rolled detect lies, I realized, yeah, he's not telling the truth. So I draw the bow again in a quick draw.
And you start firing arrows at his ears.
Well, not quite. The first shot I put by his... I don't fire the shot until I say my first declarative stuff. You're not telling me everything. You might want to spill the beans on this one. Something along those lines. The guy says, I told you everything I know.
Fire.
Fire an arrow, and it lodges right next to his ear.
Yeah, here's the thing. Garm is... basically, at that angle, from that part, he can shoot point blank, and he has 100% accuracy.
I do not miss. I'm not even rolling to score. I'm not even rolling for accuracy. I have perfect accuracy.
He can hit. He can hit.
So the arrow jolts him a little bit, and he's like, I really don't know. I fire the next one, and the GM interprets my shot as actually grazing his ear, and I believe my words were, next time I might stop missing. To which he spills everything.
He sings like a canary.
He sings like a canary. Indeed.
Oh, fucking
yes!
Gotcha.
Third pun. Okay, and yeah.
He was a real stool pigeon, that Xenon.
Yes, he was.
Oh, fuck. I walked right into that one.
Yes. And so we get all the information, though I think this is up to you two to fill in the blank, because I kind of have difficulty remembering the exact.
Well, basically, it was basically the plot converges onto R is going to be doing the celestial alignment in NVIDIA, and that here are the items, and here's exactly what happens and why they're all important.
Yeah, and for the longest time, we thought that Legend's sword was the Fang of Nosferatu.
Which is one of the items, which thankfully is not.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, it also means that they have it.
Yeah. The only thing they're missing is the Crown of Souls, which we got,
Crown of Souls in the Book of Returning.
We burned the Book of Returning.
Yes.
So they don't have that.
Right.
We have the Crown of Souls, which I think is in Chester's possession at the moment.
No? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. So fuck, I better start rolling for bad dreams.
Well, that's at the GM's discretion, but still, that basically is going to come to that, and I think Strahd also has one of the items. Actually, Strahd has the amulet of the amulet that we got from the desert.
Oh,
Because Abby stole that during the first night we encountered her from her own character.
oh, right.
So,
Fuck. Wait.
These bloody artifacts. They
Yeah.
keep changing.
nevertheless, we will find out exactly what happens next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other little thoughts, like what you predict will happen?
Bullshit, crazy shenanigans, chaos, drama,
I predict
murder.
I predict Terrell's going to turn heel on us.
I'm predicting everyone's going to have at least one character die off.
Let's see. I'm bringing in Mikhail and Chester for the final battle.
Lou and Nisashi. Abby is going to have Xochitl, and Tails is going to have Xochitl.
You did it too.
Okay.
You did it too.
And then and Legend, because he's so special, gets 3 characters.
Well,
Well, the thing is, Terrell might not even last long enough. He might become an NPC by the end of this.
he's already half an NPC. He's got self-control of 9 to avoid blacking out and murdering you all.
For all
yeah, I'm pretty sure I should have.
Still, Legend gets 3 characters, which are Terrell, Garm, and Alba.
So, and also technically, you still have the Wolf Boy.
I do have the wolf.
Yeah, but that's an epilogue thing that the GM said that GM would do later.
Okay,
So that's not relevant to the main plot as far as this is concerned.
Yeah, and my character Miko is long gone. He's like, "Fuck you guys."
You retired him. That's the end of that.
Yeah, and I'm starting, and I wish I could have brought him in for the final battle to help heal.
Well, you stuck to your decision, so
Yeah,
it's gone.
Yeah, that's,
He's gone.
Easy come, easy go.
Yep.
All right, that's the end of it.
Yep.
Or it's the second to last end of it.
Oh boy, next time when we bring up this Ravenloft stuff, shit will have gone down, all of us will be like, yeah, or oh!
Or, oh, thank God it's over.
No, I honestly think this has been an amazingly fun campaign.
I do too. It's just I'm saying, I just hope it's not going to be torturous for the final.
Oh yes, it will be.
There will be torture.
It will be torture pulling out your key with a rusty wrench.
It's going to be painful, pleasureful, epic, exciting, and deadly.
And hilarious. There will be some way we will find to make this absolutely hilarious.
Yep. Anyway, this is Death Zero.
This is Leo Fowl.
No. Say it properly. Say it properly. We're not ending it till you do.
This is Crow Force.
Say it!
This is Hawk Eagle.
Fuck it. Bye, guys.
This is Terrell, Alba, and Gar signing off.
Later, guys.
Ciao. And if you don't subscribe, I'll put an arrow between your eyes.